Good morning. I'm Ron Moore, and this is your morning cup of motivation here on Passion Week. Have you ever felt guilty because you struggle? I know I have, and a lot of Christians will try to make you feel guilty because you struggle with doing the will of God. You struggle with maybe that temptation or that bad habit or that habitual sin, that sin that does so easily kicketh thy butt that Hebrews talks about. Well, it doesn't say that, but that's the Ron Moore Revised version. But have you ever felt guilty for feeling that, for just struggling with doing the will of God? Well, let me say, hey, you're in good company, because did you know Jesus did that? I mean, there in the Garden of Gethsemane, he struggled with whether to do the will of God or not. He said, Father, in fact, let me read it to you here. I should have had it right here, but let me read it to you. Here in Matthew 26, verse 29, or verse 39, he says, and he's talking about he was with the boys here, and he says that he went a little beyond them and fell on his face and prayed, saying, My Father, if it's possible to let this cup pass from me, yet not as I will, but as you will. So he's saying, Lord, if there's any way that you can accomplish what you need to accomplish in my life, not my will, but thy will be done. If there's any way possible that mankind can have the sin of the world paid for, other than for me to go through this Roman crucifixion, and I remind you, he knew what a Roman crucifixion was. He knew how brutal it was. And so, I mean, he not only had the weight of the world literally on his shoulder, the weight of the sin of the world, but also knowing what it was going to take to pay the price for that sin. And yeah, he struggled with it. But he went on to say, Father, not my will, but thy will. And so I just want you to know today that don't feel bad if you're struggling with doing the will of God, because Jesus did. But he ultimately said, Lord, you do your thing in me, Lord, whatever it takes. And so I just want to encourage you today, if you're struggling, well, Jesus struggled at the Garden of Gethsemane, whether or not to go ahead and do the will of his Father. So I want to challenge you, hey, don't feel guilty about that, but I want to challenge you, do the will of your Father. Hey, have a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
I can't